Hey, our dear beloved viewer, we love you so much. Continue commenting, sharing, and liking, and following us on all our social media platforms. Welcome you to Aquaways Aquaculture Solution. Empowering aquapreneur is really what we believe in. We do a number of activities ranging from farm setup. We do site selection. We hope you choose the right breed, the right quality of the input which you'll need. We hope you connect you to the right suppliers wherever you are. We have a number of team across the globe which will hope you get connected to that very right person who really help you to do a successful aquaculture production. Yeah, and today we'll be looking at tilapia. Mostly we engaged in tilapia, and that's what we'll be looking at. Yes, as you know, aquaculture today is the fastest growing food sector in agriculture, employing millions and millions of people across the globe. So many countries actually are coming up to invest to support aquaculture sector, one of the way to empower the fish farmer. So it is a virgin industry which really encourage everyone to invest in. It's so profitable if at all is well managed, is well taken care of. Yeah, fish is really so profitable, and all people who are engaged in all sector of the value chains, including processing, marketing, and all other sectors. Really, I hope you're enjoying the good feedback from the customers. I know people across the globe, they really love fish. Yes. In many countries, people are doing actually a number of species. Like when you see people near the oceans, they really do marine culture or marine fish farming. Which include the shrimps and all that rest, which is not the case for the people who are in the tropics. People who are in tropics, they're mostly doing the carps, they're doing tilapia, they're doing catfish. But today, actually, tilapia is what we are doing here in East Africa. Most parts, by the way, of the globe, they're really doing culture. They really do tilapia culture. Today, tilapia actually it is the second most important fish which is cultured globally. Yes, after that carp. Tilapia belongs to the Chilichidae. That family, it's where it's belonging, and it has got a number of species. But of course, the most cultured species include the ON, Orichromys niloticus. Yeah, that fish with a pinkish. It's so attractive when you just look at it. It's really so attractive. By mere looking at it, you feel like, hey, I should eat this fish. Then there's a blue tilapia. There's the Mozambicus. They have been the most three cultured species here in the tropics, in most parts actually of the tropics, where companies are doing aquaculture. They're not really to be so good, faster growing. It is resistant. It is resistant to different water quality parameters. By the way, that's one of the good thing of tilapia, as we see in our next in our next series. So it's so simple to reproduce. It's not so complicated for people who have done catfish. They know what it means. If you compare it with tilapia, it's so easy really to reproduce, where you can just have the males and the females in the ponds, and you just keep correcting the fly. Then there are the people who are using the McDonald's jar technology, where they collect the eggs from the mouth of the brooder, and then they put in those jars well aerated, as you can see, and they start now correcting the younger ones, and then they go for nursing. So it is so easy to reproduce. It has a high growth rate, and tolerance really that some good stocking, especially for people who are doing it in the RAS system and the cages where the water exchange is so much. It's really resistant to handling. Hey, tilapia, if you good handler, it's a fish you can handle, and it remain safe as long as you're doing it in the right way. You're not stressing it. Tilapia is known for its Yeah, for its nutrition. It's so nutritious with the omega-3. Actually, it's with all the fish, but for tilapia, it's really so nutritious, so delicious, and you like to do it. And aquaculture, actually, for tilapia, it's done in a number of systems, which includes the RAS. The RAS system is where water keeps on recirculating from the ponds or from the tanks, whatever you're using, to the biofiltration tanks or what, something just can be used as plants to filter out those the wastes, and then water will go to the reservoir to set around, and then it is pumped back to the, yeah, to the ponds or to the tanks, whatever you're using. It's really so good. It is economical, and water is being saved. Then there are cages where those just as you can see, they are suspended in the lake. They are put in the lake, well anchored, and it allows, by the way, high stocking densities compared to all these other stocking densities. I've seen a farm where they can stock up to 50 kilogram per cubic meter. Yes, that means a 10 by 10 cage, you can harvest some good number of really of what, of fish, around 20 to 25. But those are people who have really high management. For a startup, I would encourage you go with the less number. As you go on gaining techniques, you can go on yeah, doing that. Then there are ponds. Yeah, just as you can see, pond, they just dug at from the earthing. You can either use the manual rebar, you can either use the caterpillars, those tractors and all that to dig something. It's always we encourage really farmer not to dig something deep. I've seen a farmer where he digs something too deep. Yeah, recently I was having one of our client and told us, hey, I was advised that fish, you need to dig something deep, and you create space where fish will sleep, you create space where they will rest, have dinner from, and then at the top they'll come to eat. No, no, no. We really encourage at least 1 meter at the outlet and 1.5 meter at the, sorry, 1 meter at the inlet, 1.5 meter at the outlet. That's something yeah, good for your fish to be growing well. Then of course you have to go on feeding. You can fertilize that pond using different fertilizers like organic fertilizer, the chicken dung, the cow dung, though the cow dung is really not so good, but in case you can put it in the right quantity and the right time, of course it will really work for you. You don't need your water to be so dark, or you don't need to make your water so greenish. Of course, greenish means it is over fertilized, and being over fertilized means you'll have issue at night where there's competition for oxygen. Remember, at night plants do respire. They don't photosynthesize, but they do respire. So they use oxygen, and also fish are using oxygen. So there's that competition of oxygen. That's why you see fish gasping. You see all the mouth up. I know farmers who are doing that. They know, especially when it is densely stocked, or for hatchery. Actually, for hatchery, they know it. You normally see those fish in the morning or in the middle of night when they are gasping, or the mouth are on the top of water. They're trying to get oxygen. So I encourage you, in case you have such cases, you can flush your water out of the pond, and you just reduce half and then replace with a new water. Yeah, that will allow your fish to be safe. Yeah, that's also an advice to our dear fish farmers. Then there are raceways. Raceways, just as you can see, it's where the beauty of different levels, by the way, and water will go on flowing throughout. It's something expensive to make, but so efficient, and to allow you stock a big number, so water keeps circulating. It has got an issue where number one, you need a lot of water to do it, and then number two, feeding. Hey, this water, because it is moving every time, if you find you're not an expert in feeding, you end up losing all the feed being carried away by the water, by that moving water, as it keeps on circulating. So you really need to maintain water, and you need to keep on exchanging and replacing with fresh water. So but it's so good, it allows this dense stocking, and so nice. The fishery is so smart. Yeah, so dear investors who have that money, you can inbox us, and then we will really design for you something great. And in case you have an expert, of course, we also encourage you get in touch with him or her. Then he will design you something great for your, yeah, for your budget and for that activity, for that purpose. Then it will really work out for you. That is RAS system. Of course, there are tanks which can be earthen. They can be these 3 Oreo tanks. I've seen a number of people who are doing just simple tanks, these water tanks, and then they just put water and they put fish. Of course, I have a belief that wherever there's water, there should be really fish. Everywhere, as long as there can be water, is really, you should really have fish there. But of course, that means you have also to assess the nature of the water you're having. Of course, not every water will support fish. Yeah, but yeah, there can be modification to allow fish grow well. So for tilapia, it's really just as I told you, it is resistant to actually to those water of the poor quality. No, when I say poor, I don't mean the totally poor. Yes, but I mean it's somehow resistant, so it really grow. Even those tanks, but you have to keep on changing water, and then you ensure that tank you're using doesn't get hot. Yeah, the people who are getting going, it is plastic and to get too hot, and then guess what, the temperatures will increase above what our tilapia or our fish will hold, and then at the end of it you have losing your fish. Okay, the number of ways, of course, people are using, but those are the most common ones: the RAS system, the cages, the ponds, the raceways, and all others. Of course, ponds, you can line them using dam liners. So efficient, especially for people who are in arid areas, who are in place where water is a challenge. You can dam line your ponds, and then yes, you have what? You have water staying for a long time. Then they can be concrete. Yes, of course, the issue with concrete and dam line is like there I have to much of it depend on supplementary feeds. I mean, manufactured feeds to supplement, because there's no the rate of fertilization is really small. Yeah, but still the work, especially in places where the water scarcity is, yeah, is high. What else can I say about tilapia? I'm a tilapia lover, really. I love tilapia so much. Yeah, thank you for watching this video. I really, we're making more and more videos where we go deep into different areas of yeah, of tilapia production, and we look at breeding. How do you breed? How do you manage your farm? The different culture system, the advantage and disadvantages of tilapia, sex identification. Yes, if you find fish, I know people, very many people will bring here fish and say, hey, these are 2 fish, now tell me the male and the female. Say, hey, what is it even possible? Yeah, it is very really possible. And then we look at mass production of fingerling. Yes, you need to produce, the young ones are called fingerling, of course. Yeah, you need to produce a lot of fingerling. It's really so expensive. It's actually, it is one of the virgin business which is really so profitable. We encourage farmers, please, in case you have actually small land, you have some small investment, inboxers will let you know what it requires. It requires something small, by the way, and you can produce a lot. Yes, I've seen friends of mine producing actually millions of fingerling in just a short time. You don't need big space, you don't need a complicated system. Actually, doing a hatchery is even cheaper than digging for the ponds. Yeah, because you need just smaller ponds, 2 or 3 for broodstock, and then 4 or 5 just for nursing, and that's it all what you need, as long as you have market for, yeah, for those feed, for these young ones. As long as by the time they come, they are ready, they'll take. And there's some big market across the globe, by the way, for many countries. Yeah, that's so great. We'll meet you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.